This is your daily briefing and you're most welcome to it. Today, a slightly deeper dive again, and this time at Everton's Richarlison, who we have been linked with. Over 50 million quid's worth of business on the line, and I didn't know much about him, so I wanted to get a flavour of him, so I've got the scouting tools out and gone for a little bit of a swim. So the headlines here are 10 goals, and this is for last season, the Premier League. 10 goals, 5 assists, 20 shot assists. Crossing accuracy, 27.7%. Dribbling success, pretty good at 54.3%. And touches in the penalty area, this is, kind of note, 3.64 per game. So let's look at where he stands with his contemporaries, and we go straight for goals and assists. And in the Premier League, we can see here he comes 21st in a list of 30, which isn't terrible, but it's I think we pretty good, pretty good. And if we look at straightforward in terms of goal scoring on their own, list up here, 23rd position, again out of 30, which is pretty good. But there's a reason that for matches and minutes played, the Brazilian doesn't feature at all in the top 30 of either category, which is a little bit of an alarm bell. So I had a quick look, and we discover here a lengthy flirtation with the physio bench, spanning more or less back for the most recent side of his career since he came to England. 2017 we've gone down to there. I take a view that injuries, much like, and I'm going to come on to it now, offsides, there's no hard and fast judgments to be made, more a case of trading off negatives against positives and seeing what we get as an overall picture about the player, because it's pointless harping on about, oh, he's always injured, if when he isn't injured he plays extraordinarily well, because you're compensated. Top 10 worst offending players for falling foul of the Lion-O's flag include one of the world's greatest players, Heung-min and Cristiano Ronaldo. So you see what I'm saying about the business of trading off? It's not just hard and fast, cold, black and white with the numbers. You wouldn't say, oh, well, I wouldn't have Sonny on my team or Ronaldo on my team because they're always offside, because they contribute so much more. I'm labouring the point, but that's to make the point. So this is an attacking player. This is a player that scores goals, allegedly. This is a centre forward, a left-sided centre forward. He's in the mix to cause people trouble. So I then went and looked at through passes, construction plays, what we're talking about here. That'd be the umbrella term. Key passes, through passes, and balls in the final third, etc. Richarlison doesn't feature in the top 30 of any of those categories for the Premier League last season. Absolute zeros. So in conclusion, we're looking at 10 goals and 5 assists. That's the net result. And again, one of the things I'm trying to get away from here is to this business of, oh, did you see him against so-and-so? He was electric. And I had a couple of comments back on the Jed Spence thing, saying, oh yeah, but he played brilliant against Leicester and against Arsenal. Okay, I'm not denying that. But if we look at the whole picture, opposed to just take 2 games or 1 game, isolated incidents are not our friends, because they don't reflect what's going on. They can be atypical. So the thought I'm left with here is, if we're looking at dropping 50 million, and they're talking about 50 million plus, which I think, at looking at his past value, where his valuation is today, I think that's above market rate, which I don't understand based upon what I found there. We've got a proven English Premier League player, fine, but there's no homegrown cachet to that. Are there any other attractive options? Because that's quite a lump of money. Ward-Prowse stands out. He's equally scored 10 goals, and he'd probably come in about 33, 35 million, something like that. Tony at Brentford, arguably the wrong end of 40 million. And again, these guys all scored 10 goals. And there's Rafinha at Leeds, who would probably be the dearest of the shortlist to rival Richarlison, 48, 50 million himself. For a 25-year-old with, as I say, no homegrown cash, I'm struggling to see the wisdom that there might be in this deal unless you are the player's agent. This, however, in fairness to the guy, and we have to try and, you know, be fair, perhaps this highlights the issue Spurs have here and why it's been a question that they've really struggled to solve over the years. What sort of player do you get if you advertise for someone who didn't mind alternating with Harry Kane, who, as we've discussed previously, the word no doesn't appear in his vocabulary? This suggests, based upon this one examination of one player, the answer is you don't get a wonderful one and you don't get a particularly cheap one. So that's it. I have to say, I do enjoy doing these poking arounds using the scouting tools. It reminds me of trying to solve the race cards in the bookmakers in the dim and distant. But anyway, that's for me. Good luck. Keep it Tottenham.